Okay. All right. How you doing today?
Good, you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining me.
Welcome.
How's everything going this week?
Not so bad. I have some issues with my liver this week, but it's gonna be okay. I have another treatment Thursday, so it's gonna help, I guess.
So how often is it dialysis?
No, it's a treatment for antibodies because they remove like a lot of antibodies in my body because I got after my transplant, I got a rejection. So they have to get avoid of antibodies. So they give me other ones that's supposed to work with the new liver.
Okay. So right now you've got a new liver and your body's trying to accept it.
Yeah, it was accepted for 2 years and a half. And this summer, I don't know why, my body rejected.
Okay. So for people who don't know, when did this all start? Like how old were you when your liver first started having issues? And did it start just as a liver issue or did it start somewhere else and kind of spiraled into this?
It started when I was 29 years old.
Okay.
I just feeling like not good and not good sleep, not good like feeling for eating and stuff like that. And I was like just worried. So I just went to the doctor. And when he took some blood tests, he said, "Oh, I have to keep you here." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Your enzymes are too high. Seems like your liver has something." And I was like, "Okay." But it was fine. So everything was fine. So I got back home. At the same weekend, I called my dad on a Saturday night because I was not feel good at all. My stomach went like so big and everything. So we went to the hospital, and then since it was October 15, 2 years ago, and I got in a coma for 2 months and a half after that. Like my liver literally
Wow.
exploded.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when your liver was having like the final like big issues, did your stomach go like hard?
Yeah, really hard. Like
I've
if I was
never,
like pregnant of like 9 months.
jeez. And you said like your liver finally just completely went all at once.
Yeah, like did not like even the doctor didn't expect that at all. Like it just explode like randomly.
So
So
luckily were you at the hospital when that happened, or that was why you were feeling so poorly?
that's why I was feeling so poorly. But the night my stomach went big, it's the night that my liver like just can't took it anymore. Like it just literally explodes. So when I got to the hospital, they didn't know my liver was explode, like because it's inside.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I was like screaming, crying, and everything. I don't remember so much thing, but I remember it was like really hurt me so much. So they put me in coma because I started to get water in my body, like my lungs get it like so
A little water.
infected.
Okay.
Yeah, and my kidney too. So they plugged me right away because they don't have a liver like right now for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, that's terrifying. So the only way that I can relate to this is just like going through what happened with my dad. Like that's why we started speaking that day on the golf course, is because my cousin
Yeah.
had spoke to you and just talking about what you went through and then talking about my dad. And it's just like it's not as relatable because I didn't go through it, but like just like hearing the things you're saying, my dad didn't just completely just go kaboom, like done. It was just that very, very small function. Actually, I think it was dead, but it was like he was going yellow. He was jaundiced. He was in the
Mhm.
hospital. His stomach was very like tight. He never really complained much about being in severe pain, but his kidneys were also shutting down and almost completely out of function. And it's just crazy how like the body just all of a sudden just doesn't want it anymore. It's just almost seems unfair. But so the next thing you know, you're going into a coma. Like, are they telling you like you're awake? Like we're putting you into a coma? Like,
I was awake, but I was like kind of like just not knowing what's going on because
yeah, it's a
I
lot
like
going
I
on.
feel so much pain. I remember just seeing like my mom and my dad was there, but like it was like so blurry for me. And I was like so yellow too. Like that's
Yeah.
what the liver does too. Like my eyes will like be really like yellow and everything.
Yeah.
So when they put me in coma, uh, my function, my heart start to like slow down. My kidneys stopped to work stopped working. My lungs like was really slow. So my body was like not fighting anymore. Like it was crazy. Like
Yeah,
so
that's a lot. Like they always talk about when you take away one of the major organs, obviously the rest of them have to work so much harder to keep you moving. And obviously with the liver and kidney working together, they obviously have a huge effect if one of them starts to fail. I'm not a doctor by any means, but that's just what I've been come to know. But so next thing you know, you're going into a coma. So you wake up out of that coma with a new kidney,
a
new liver, sorry.
yeah. I woke up, but when I woke up, like for me, like I just remembered to went to the hospital, like I don't even know what's
Wow.
going on. So I woke up, and when I woke up, I was like, there was my dad and my mom just beside me, was like they were crying. Because the thing is, I was like 2 months and a half in coma, and they put me on like first for a transplant, but like the Tuesday, they tell my mom and my dad, like if Friday we didn't have a liver, we have to unplug your daughter, like, or like her body's like it's dead right now. So even if we do the surgery, she has 2% chance. Did you want to take that chance? So my dad said yes. Like, of course not. If it was 1%, I would take chance. I don't want to lose my daughter for that. But miracles happens, and we receive a liver like the next day on Wednesday, and it was matching with me. And they decided to do the surgery. And when they did the surgery, it was work. But when I woke up, like it was like 3 days after the surgery, I think. Um, for me, I was just don't know where I was and everything. And I was looking at my dad and my mom and said, "What's going on?" Because I couldn't talk because I was intubated.
Yeah.
So I couldn't talk, I couldn't move. Like only my head was moving, my arm was not moving, my leg was not moving. And I was like, what's going on? Like, so they tell me that I have a liver transplant, and it was really hard on me because like not even my body was like moving at all. Like I have to start back to walk, eat, talk, and move back my hands and everything. Like it was crazy.
That's got to be so scary. Like just think about this. Like I'm speechless. I didn't even know what to say. Like to go into a coma for 2 months and then wake up and think like when you woke up, it felt like you had just got to the hospital, your liver wasn't doing good or you weren't
Yeah,
feeling good. And then all of a sudden you're awake and you can't move any part of your body.
yeah, exactly. Like
Holy
on the
shit.
Friday, I was like at a show. Like they have a show and they shoot like for just for laugh.
Yep.
And I went that show. Everything was fine. And the next day, the only thing that I remember is I was in the hospital. They will look in my eyes and then they shut off. So, and then 2 months and a half after that, I woke up and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" So
So what was the road to recovery? How long did it take you to get back to like fully functional of like walking, talking, eating? Like that's a lot of stress on your body, especially being intubated for that long. Like your throat must have been
it was
rough. So what
yeah.
was the process? Like, did you have to do physio? Like how long were you in the hospital after you woke up?
After I woke up, I was 6 months and a half in the hospitals. Yeah, so it was really hard because like when you're all do your stuff, like you're washing yourself and everything, like everyone do it for you now. You
Yep.
have like you can do it by yourself, so everyone do it for you. And I was like get some food by my nose,
Yep.
because I can take it by my mouth because I can swallow like it. So I was like, okay, so it's been like so hard, but talking in my hands went back kind of live fasting,
Yep.
but my legs, no, my legs took like so much time because I didn't feel the floor. I didn't feel anything on my leg. Like at one point I was like so scared to not walk again. Like I was crying. I remember look at my dad and say, if I can walk, I can go back home. Like I don't want to be like in a wheelchair for the forever, like it's okay. I have a life. I know I'm like super, super lucky to have that liver. But if I can't walk, what I can do, it was so stressful. But one day I just woke up at the hospital and I said, you know what, I'm able to do it and I will do it. And I just decided to I don't know, I just beside my bed, and I was like laying down my leg on the floor, and I was like, okay, I can feel that floor. Like, of course, I was walking before, I can walk now, of course. So I decided to stand up by myself, and I stand up for the first time. So the physio,
Wow.
yeah. So they call
Good
the
for you.
physio and to walk, but like on the first time I was walking, I was so dizzy. I was like fell down a lot. But after I tried to walk like 2, 3 times, I started back walking fast too. So
That's that's gotta change your whole mind.
yeah,
Like from the going through all that stuff, and like just the what for us seems such a simple task as to just walk. I don't really
yeah,
go for walks or anything just because I'm lazy, but such a simple task just to be able to walk, just to be able to lift your hands, just to be able to eat your own food. Like those things just become such a blessing to be able to do once you've gone through that. Has it changed your mindset since of just like living your life?
um, it's crazy because I was like more living my life before. Like before I got my liver surgery, I was not afraid of anything. If I want to go like skydiving, I was go skydiving. If I, like I was like a kind of crazy person who do like all the things that I want to do in my life.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but after that, I was like not myself. Like for like the first year I got my liver, I was not myself. I felt depressed,
Yep.
like because it was not mine. I had to live with a liver that it's not mine. It's not. Someone has to die to give me a chance to live. You know what I mean? For me, it was such a huge thing to accept, because I just thinking about the family who has to say goodbye for someone, and for me to accept that liver. If I didn't have that liver that day, I was like dead. So
You know
it's
what?
kind of
That's I do not in the aspect. This is another one of the things where I feel like I can relate to, not in the aspect that I needed the liver, because you obviously didn't know you were in a coma. Like in your head, like obviously you don't want someone to pass away so that you can live. Like I don't think that way either. If someone else has to die, like, but it's different because they were going to die regardless.
yeah,
It's not like someone was sacrificed. But I remember being in the hospital with dad and knowing that he was on the liver transplant list and he was number one. And the weirdest feeling in your life is hoping for the liver.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
essentially when you sit there and you're just like, I want him to get the liver, I want him to deliver, I hope he gets it right away. Like you're essentially just hoping that someone else that has a compatible liver passes. It's such a weird mind game. And I talk about it in one of my episodes where I talk about my dad passing. I did a podcast on it. And I talk about how, like, after the fact, you just kind of think in your head, like, I can't believe I can see how you are sitting there now just saying, like, this isn't my liver. Like, someone had to pass. Like, did you ever get to find out who it was?
in Quebec, that's the point. In Canada, like that's the point. You cannot know. Like,
Oh,
yeah, it's awful. But you can write a letter to the family, but it's anonymous. So, because for me, it was like so important to say like thank you, and try to know like who it was. For
yeah.
me, the only thing that I know, it was a guy from Sherbrooke. That's the only thing that I know. So I
Man,
have
that's
a
hard because is in the United States, can you find out?
yeah. In the United States, you can know.
Okay,
Like
because I've seen
in
like little videos of like someone
yeah,
meeting the people who, or like five people benefited from some person passing. Someone got their
yeah.
liver, their kidney, their all these little things and or big things in those people's lives. So that sucks that we can't. Like it should be like a if you both opt into knowing, then
Exactly,
you should be able to
exactly,
know.
exactly. That's what I said to the girl that I talked with the TRANSPLANT Quebec. So I said, you know what? If the family wants to and I want to, why we cannot? And she told me that at some point, some people take advantage of, like if someone lose a child, and I have like the art of the child, or what, and the couple got separated and got the like money issues and everything, they will, some kind of people try to get like your money, like, because say, oh,
Makes
my
you feel
son
bad.
saved your life, you know what I mean? So,
Definitely. That's tough.
but it's not like all the people are like that,
No,
like,
for
so
sure. But yeah, I can see how they try and protect both sides. Just because they could really make you feel poor. Like,
yeah.
yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I could
But
see that happening.
it's a thing that I really want to like try to know and try to find out. Because for me, writing a letter like anonymous, it's not making sense. It's not like from my heart. I can write something, but it was not like kind of connection. You know what I mean?
It would even be nice for you to see the life that he lived. Like, as stupid as it sounds, like even seeing his Facebook page, like seeing like the events he was in and the people he cheered for and the stuff he did in life. And I don't know, just getting to know what person lost their life and now you have a part of who they are. Like, that'd be so nice.
Exactly. Because I got like things that I didn't hate before. Like I hate chips, I hate popcorns, like and I was a fan of chocolate. Like I eat chocolate every day. And since I got my liver, I ate chocolate and I eat chips and popcorn. And I say, oh, maybe it's him. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, maybe you know that he likes that stuff.
Yeah.
So at this point, you're doing your physio. You finally pushed through. You gave everything you could to stand up and start walking again. What's the process? You said you were in the hospital after the coma for 6 months doing recovery. When you started to be able to walk, is that kind of the point in your recovery where they're like, okay, it seems like you're gonna be able to do this on your own. Now you're just gonna come in periodically to get physio and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they sent me to like a little place just for physiotherapy that I had to sleep there. But when I went there, I was able to walk like a bit, like still like to my bed to like a table or something like that, like not a real long walk. And at that place, it was like old people, like literally like kind of people like or really old who has like a wheelchair or something like that, who like really can't talk, like walk. And I was like, I think it's not my place here. Like I would be like better at home, like trying my best to like work out myself to be here. So they sent me back home and I was living at my parents' house for like a month because at my place, I got like so much stairs to do. And like with the stairs, I was really not good at all. So I decided to live at my mom's and my dad's place because they have like a room upstairs, so I can have to walk. But after 1 month, I was like, okay, and I said to my dad and my mom, say, I want to go back to work. And they say, oh, maybe it's too early. And I say, no, I want to go back to work. Like, I have so much thing in my mind is going on, like always thinking about like stuff that I
can't sit at home and go crazy every single day.
Yeah, like I want to erase it. You know what I mean? Like so much thing that I want to erase off my mind. And I decided to start back work. Like they said, okay, try 2 or 3 days per week if you want. And I start back like fully. So I rushed myself at work, and like at work, I was at the hotel, like the Calling Lake Hotel. Like you didn't see it, you see the golf course, but at the hotel I was working there, and they have a lot of stairs and everything. And like I was walking and just want to push that away. So I pushed that away like for so much, like a long time. So I think that's why I got a rejection, because I was push myself to work so hard to just erase everything that I forgot that I need to take care of me too. You know what I mean? So
that's tough, because at that point, like you hear about a lot of people who either go through a surgery or something traumatic in their life, and the depression thing just kicks in as just like a defense mechanism almost. It seems like just it becomes your first, all you think about all the time is like, why am I here? How did I go through all this stuff? Like, this has been so tough on my body. Am I ever going to be the same? Like it constantly just goes through your mind. And I've never had to deal with anything like that, but every person I've had the pleasure of speaking with about their story, it just seems like it's a very similar thing. And like, do you have ever since that, like, how are you doing, like emotionally and mentally? You don't have to speak about it if you don't want to, but are you okay? Like emotionally every day?
Emotionally, like it's kind of like hard thing for me, because before my surgery, I was not an emotional person at all. Like I was like the strong one, like when I have like something sad happened to me, I would just face it, I won't cry at all. But at the hospital, the thing is, I cry like every day, like it was like crazy. And at one point, like I was asking my dad to sleep at the hospital, and I said, I can't sleep if you're not there, like if you're not in the room, I can't sleep. And I was like just crying, and stuff that you just hide inside, like for like being sad for all those years comes back. And emotionally now I'm more emotional
Yeah.
now than I was before. But now it's getting really better. Like before I was doing like anxieties and everything like that, but not now. Like I'm just like more emotional. If something happened, I can cry. Like I just don't mind. But before I was like not like that.
Yeah. I can't imagine just like going through all that stuff. Like your mind just doesn't even know what to do. Like all the trauma you went through, and just it wasn't even like there was a big lead up to it. It's not like you had time to sit there and think like my kidney is failing or my liver is failing. Like you can't sit there and process it and figure it out and like think about what you're going to do. And this is the steps you're going to take. And we're going to find you a liver transplant and go from here. It was just like my stomach hurts. Boom. You wake up 2 months later or 3 months later and you can't even walk.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't take the decision to take another liver. You know what I mean? My parents did, and I'm glad they did. It's not the point. But at some point, I was like, at the beginning, I was like, is it that really worth it? Like when I woke up and can talk and walk and even like do things, I was like so scared to just die another time. You know what I mean? Like every time doctors came to my room, I got so afraid of everything. Like it was in my head, it was like crazy. Like,
Yeah.
and you know, when you can't speak it, like it's hard because you just want to say, I'm scared, you know, but no one can hear you. No one can barely understand what you mean. I remember they bring me a sheet with letters on it. And like I was able to just lift a bit my arms and point some letters, but you know, it was like so long to do like a sentence, you know. So I just tried to keep like little words to some kind they understand what I mean. Because at one point I was not asleep, and they said, you know, you have to sleep. But for me, closing my eyes was a thing that when I open it, is it 2 months later after, or it's going to be tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, shit, that is terrifying, especially when you have no way of communicating how you're feeling. Like even if something started to hurt again,
Yeah.
like to express where it hurts, or like that's got to be so terrifying. Like,
No.
especially after going through all of that stuff, to sit there and not be able to at least express that you're scared or that you want your dad to stay or all those little things. Like that sucks. Like I'm so sorry I had to go through all that.
Oh, it's okay. You know, like some people go to worse too, like, you know.
See, you know, when dad passed, I always said the exact same thing. Like I know it's not the same thing. You fought for your life, but when he did, it was just the same thing. Like there's so many other people that lose a kid or lose an entire family or become an orphan or whatever it may be, like that have such worse. I got 23 years with him. Some people don't get any. So I understand. And I love hearing you say that. Like so many people have had it worse. Like you had a liver go down and you were in a coma for 3 months and you couldn't walk for fucking like 6 months. And for you to say that is just so humbling. Like I really appreciate that. How, like, so now you're through the process, you've done your physio, you went to like the old age physio clinic that you were at, and now you're starting to walk again. You went back to work. How long were you at work, and how long, like, did you ever get to 100% where you felt like it didn't affect you anymore?
No. No, for me, like before I was training myself, you know, like I used to go to the gym and everything, and now it's kind of hard. Like I can barely like run, like really run. Like I can like run like a kid, like 4 years old kids, like
Yeah.
probably the same thing. But yeah, and my legs sometimes hurt me so much because, you know, it's not 100% perfect. It will never be, but at least I can walk and I can do my things, you know. I'm pretty lucky. Even my doctor said like I was a miracle. And we talk about a lot of that, and he said, you know, like you did that, you have 2% chance to live, and you able to walk, you're able to talk, like I can do anything that I want now, and I'm really appreciate that, but still have some kind of things in my mind that will never change. Like you can erase all that thing you went through. Like I've been to hell and back, and like some memories doesn't want to fade away, and that memories will be there with like my whole life, and my scar too. Like I have a scar, and for me it was like a big thing at the beginning to show my scar or everything like that. And now I get like used to it. I talk to myself a lot, with positive things and everything, because I will always be positive in my life, like,
yeah,
and try to make like people happy and everything. And after my transplant, I was the one who was not singing my card for organs and everything like that. And I was like, it's so precious now because I've been through that. And I just wanted people to know that it's so important. And if I can do like just a difference in life of someone who fight for a life or fight for some things, like I be able to do it, and I had 2 chances. So like I know they have like some secret sensing, like it's not working, but when you have faith, like it's helped you a lot, and have like positive minds help you a lot.
So what's your goal now? Like right now, obviously you're you're talking about the enzymes. They keep putting in, no, it wasn't enzymes. It was,
enzyme.
that's what it is that they're putting back into you. Antibodies. Yes. The antibodies. So now you're doing that. Is there a schedule for it, or they're just going to keep doing it as long as they can, or what's the overall goal right now?
Like 2 months and a half ago, I passed 2 months and a half. Like when I saw you at the golf course, I just like going out of the hospital. But like 2 months and a half before, I was in the hospital because I got a rejection. So they did like a plasmapheresis. So they extract the plasma on my body, and like kind of I think they get low of your antibodies. So now I have to go like 3 times to get antibodies, then another biopsy. And when I got the other biopsy, I will know if the rejection is reversed. And if it's not reversed, well, we will have to figure it out what we're going to do, but I'm hoping it was working, and I feel really good, and my blood tests show like I was good.
Oh, good.
But no, it's kind of going back to like 2 years ago. Like if they told me like we still have a rejection, I don't want to do another liver transplant, you know what I mean? Even it will be not the same thing at all. It will be planned that time. But for me, like I was like, I know I cannot do it again, So it brings me more memories, and I just decide to just see the positive things of it and see like I think it will work, and like
you're very strong.
I tried.
Have you ever? Obviously, that's got to be. I always get in my own head. Like I constantly do it. Like I constantly, like if I get a freaking, like listening to this is good for me to listen to, because I'll sit there and get like a cough, or my back will start to hurt in a weird spot, or my arm will go numb or something randomly. And I'll be like, am I all right? Like, am I going to die? And I've never had health issues. Like the stupidest little things. Like I'll be sitting there and be like, oh, that's it. I'll start calling. I better start texting everyone saying it's been nice knowing you, because like just stupid little things, right? But hearing you say that, like I always get in my own head, so I don't know how I would do with waiting to hear again if I'm gonna be okay. Like that's got to be such a fucking hard thing. You kind of just stay away from it, I guess, right?
Yeah, because I can't do nothing, like I just have to trust. Like life is. It's kind of unfair, like you said, like because life is so hard, because good people like your father, I'm sure, was like a good man and everything, and it's so sad that he has to go away, and as you lose your dad, and I can imagine imagine me losing my dad, like I just can't. So for me, what you living, it's worse than what I was living, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of too, like different things, but at the same time, it's the same thing. You want like to be happy in life and get everyone happy and get everyone in healed, but life decided another way. And it's unfair, it's sad. Like I remember sitting in my bed and say, why me? What did I do? What did I do to life to have this? Like, and I remember like 2 months and a half, like I had the rejection, really. Like I tried to be the best person that I could, and why I get that? Why I have to go back with that again, But it's life. It's life. It's such an unfair thing, but it's life.
That's
So
so true.
you just get used to it and just keep continue it. It seems that's hard it is. Like here is hell. I always say that we live in hells, and when we go to paradise. Like everyone goes to paradise because here it's hell. Trust me, here it's hell.
I have honestly genuinely thought that before. Not that my life is terrible. I love my life. I love my family. I love my friends. I think that I live a very good life. But I have thought that before. Like when you think about what happens after death and stuff like that, like obviously your heads went through that a lot more than mine has. But to think about what happens after, I have thought that before. Like, are we just in like this is the loading screen? Like this is the trial and error part of it where you figure out that life can suck. And then when we're done this, it's like, you know what? You've made it to paradise kind of thing. I've definitely thought the exact same thing. And do you believe that things happen for a reason? I know it might be hard for you to think that way because you've went through so much shit, but have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, because like before I was a really workaholic person, and I sacrificed a lot of things in my life for work. And emotionally too. I was not of the kind of person who was like so emotion. So keeping all the thing inside, it's not good in either, you know what I mean? So this thing like learned me a lot of things that I saw a lot of people too in the hospital. I was like 6 months and a half. So I saw the people who got transplanted got like, they could be there like 3 days and go away, And I was like, shit, that guy is 60, he's walk and he's go back home. And I'm fucking 30 years old and I'm stuck in here, like it was so frustrating. But at the same time, I met so much good people there. And I know I could like use to talk with people. Like when I was able to walk, I was like go to the other rooms with certain people who have some rough times too and talk to them, to just like be the one who be there for them, even if I was there too. And that's learned me how humans are good to each other. Like somebody else can do a difference in your life, like before I was not even think about that, like, and now I really believe that this happened to me to learn me to like slow down working. Like you can like work like 40 hours a week and be happy and do things, with your family and everything. And I was sacrificing a lot of my friends and a lot of my family because of work. Yeah. And now I do like the best that I can to be with them, like almost all of the time,
So many people do that. I truly believe like so many people just think about money in the end and think that's what's going to make them happy. And I did it for a long time. I just focused on making a certain amount of money every year. And I thought that's what's going to make me happy. I'll be able to give a good life for my family and I'll be able to pay for everything. And it's like, it doesn't matter how much you can give your family if you're not there to enjoy it with them, to be honest with you.
Exactly. So, that time is so precious. I learned that because
100%.
You don't know how much time you have here, like for me, I didn't know everything what happens, and I'm so lucky to have another chance to get the time that I lose with some people that I love. So
have you ever thought, and it might be very hard because obviously then it takes you back to where you were. Have you ever thought now that you've been through all that you'd be able to help people, like even as a career, with people that have to go through like end of life stuff or transplant stuff or any of that stuff? Do you think that you'd be able to do that, or that's something that you would ever do?
Yeah, that's a really thing that I really want to do, but just to know how it started. Like before I was thinking to writing a book, But like books, it's kind of joined some people and not other people's, you know what I mean? So it's kind of two things. And I was like, like in a book, it's not like a real talk, like, yeah, you can read it, but your mind, it's figured out. Like we can read the same book, but not feeling the same philosophy on that book, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I decided not to, but like a part of me with the pandemic, it was like hard too, you know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely want to do something with that, because I think that it can help some people, because some people like on Facebook went to talk to me, and people that I barely know, and they say, you know what, like I got this, and you know what, I fight for it because you were my inspiration. And for me, I was like, wow, oh my God, why? You said, oh, you were so strong what you've been through. And I know that I can been through that because of you. And for me, it was like the most beautiful thing that someone can ever said to you, without knowing that person a lot. So if I can, like I told you before, like if I can help just one person to get like a smile, like till the end, like.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you how your friends and family were through all this, because I was very shocked when Dad passed. The people that I hadn't talked to in 10 years or barely even knew that reached out and had better things to say than the person I see every single day. Like, it was just so crazy how it affected me and how much more it meant to have some random person that I haven't spoken to in a decade come out and just say, like, I'm thinking about you and I went through this, and like doing the podcast about it. Like, that's why, like, maybe you should do an audiobook, like just to express how you feel and what it made you feel like to go through every single step of your recovery and how it made you feel going into it. Like, I know it was very short lived and you were scared as hell, but at least people know that, like, they're not alone when they feel like that. Like, they're not like, it's not like they can't get through it. You push through it. When you have those days where you don't feel like you're going to walk ever again, you don't even want to be here anymore because you don't want to be in a wheelchair. Because I know that I've said that before. Like, if I'm going to be a vegetable or I'm going to be in a wheelchair, don't let me come back. So just to be able to talk to those people and say, like, put one foot on the ground, push forward, work harder. Like, you can do this. Like, just a motivational audiobook would be extremely beneficial for the people who are going through very similar things as you.
Yeah, it's true. I never thought about that though. Yeah.
It's a good avenue because in a book, just like you say, you can write a bunch of things down on a piece of paper and I can read it one way and take it one way. Someone else can read it one way and take it a completely other way, which is okay if it's helpful. But in an audiobook, they can actually hear your sincerity, right? Like, they can hear that you are there for them and that you want to hear from them. And people that do listen to this podcast, like, are you okay if someone has been through something and wants to reach out to you?
Yeah, of course. Like, like we all been through like some of kind of shit in our life, even like a broke up or something like that, like
no matter what the magnitude is.
Exactly. It's not because like all my friends, they took it so hard, like I have 5 friends. They when I was at the hospital, they did a ring for me. We had the 5 of us have the ring. My birth stone was in the middle, and they put like kind of white stone like for the other ones. And like at one point, if I didn't have those ones in my life, I think I will not be here today. You know what I mean? Like they were there like at the first till the end, and that's a thing, like friends are sometimes more than family. And I'm glad because I have like a wonderful family. My dad was there like every single day for 6 months and a half, doesn't lose a day, like 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night. And some night he was staying there, like sleeping on a little couch, like I can't even sleep myself, you know what I mean? And all those things made me say, you know what, people loves you, like the love that you can have for other people help you get through it. And even if you don't know that person, if it can help you, I think that it's a good thing, like, with you and your dad, I can, like I told you, like I can imagine losing one of my parents, and you did, of course, you've been shocked, you've been like sad and everything, and you will never get away, you know, you will always be sad and always be like a hole inside, like need to be filled in. But with years, we'll just accept it and, you know, say, oh, my dad is in a good place. I know he's still there, not his bodies, but he's still there. He's watching me, like we'll watch my kid grow and everything, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you have to think in that way, because if you're not, you would just think, you know, and be your own life in depression, and you don't want that though. So I know it's hard, but
you should do an audiobook. Just sitting there, even just explaining something that you don't even like, you haven't lost your dad, you don't understand it, but you still, you've been through hurt, you've been through pain, you've been through suffering, you've been through heartache and depression and all that stuff. Like, just like I've been through, I had my shit with depression and then going to therapy and shit. But for you to just sit there and explain like that, like, that's why I said to you that I believe things happen for a reason, because when you chose a day that worked for you to do this podcast, you chose today.
Yeah.
Today is my dad's 54th birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So like, it's just, and I didn't even think about it. And like, I didn't even really think about it, because like I throw the stuff in my calendar. I know when my podcasts are going to happen, but I don't really ever pay attention to what the day is. And then woke up this morning, it's his birthday. I'm like, oh my God, like you chose to talk about like you having to go through a liver failure on my dad's birthday, who also passed away due to liver failure. Like, it's just, it's weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's stuff you can't make up. You can't plan this. Like, it's just crazy. But regardless, I really, really appreciate you coming on to this podcast and talking about your story and how crazy your life's been and what you've fought through and what you've done. And you're such a strong person. And I know I am. I know that everyone that met you on the golf course, all my friends, are definitely rooting for you and hoping that you push through, and your family and friends are definitely pushing for you. And we'll definitely be down for a round of golf to see you guys again. And
I hope so.
Definitely. Is there somewhere for people to reach you if they wanted to? Like, do you have an Instagram? Like, is it just your full name?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have Instagram or Facebook, like even both of them.
It's Sarah Desjardins.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. I'll make sure that if anyone wants to reach out to her and talk to her about their journey, or if they want to talk to her about hers and how they could relate, I'll make sure that she's tagged in the info below, and as well as on the Instagram stories. You can find her page directly. Thank you so much, Sarah, for coming on today. I hope you're doing amazing. I hope everything goes well, and I hope we talk again soon. Yeah, me too. Thanks, you for receiving me. No problem at all. Have a good night. You too. Bye. Bye.